It's time for live sports coverage, brought to you by the KMSR Inc. Sports Boosters and by area businesses from the communities taking part in the game.
Good afternoon and welcome. We are at the Mayport CG High School for high school softball. Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood Patriots at home against the Grafton Spoilers. It is cold out. It's 40, maybe 41 degrees, windy, about 10 to 15, gusting to above 20 miles an hour out of the northwest. And it's cloudy, but we are ready for softball here this afternoon. Craig Keating in the booth. Chris Larson, well, you're outside, buddy.
That's right. I'm outside in the elements. I'll take one for the team, though.
Yeah. You're going to have to, but hopefully it doesn't rain. I don't think there's much of a chance of rain in the forecast today anyway.
Not from what I saw. The wind is going to be the major factor here. And despite the fact that we're back in a grove of trees, it's going to be coming in straight from center field this afternoon.
Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood, they've already taken their infield, and Grafton doing that right now. Wayne Stegman, assistant coach, who's over by home plate, hitting ground balls, and had a good chat with him a little while ago. There are some Drayton kids on the team. So we'll see what happens here this afternoon. Let's take a timeout, get ready for starting lineups next on KMAV.
Paulson Gravel of Mayville offers a variety of services, including graveling, dirt hauling, site preparation, demolition, and snow removal. They can gravel your township or county road and driveway. Paulson Gravel hauls clay, black dirt, sand, and different sized rock. In the winter, they provide snow removal and salting sanding services for parking lots and driveways. Call Paulson Gravel 786-2019 or 430-0202. Serving Trail County for over 30 years, Paulson Gravel Service of Mayville.
Look to Luther Memorial Home for a rewarding career working with people. Luther Memorial Home is currently looking for CNAs, full-time and part-time, on all shifts. Starting wages are over $21 an hour, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus for full-time employees. For more information about employment at Luther Memorial Home or taking the next CNA class, contact Jessica Bach in Human Resources at 701-786-3401 or visit luthermemorialhome.com for an application.
Hello there. I'm the Senex guy. I'm the man with the red shirt, black cap, and 1,000-acre stare who represents the energy you use every day. From safe, dependable propane to quality fuels and lubricants to clean, helpful convenience stores, Senex fuels your life in every way humanly imaginable. Senex, our energy comes through. Every day, all the time. Even on Tuesdays.
At Farmers Union Oil in Portland.
The Hatton Men's Club would like to wish good luck to all Hatton-Northwood Thunder sports teams this season. A proud supporter of Hatton-Northwood Thunder athletics, along with many other youth activities and organization, the Hatton Men's Club works to raise funds, organize events, and provide opportunities for the kids of the community, focused on making Hatton a great place to live and raise a family. Check out the Hatton Men's Club Facebook page for updates, including Santa and the Elves, Snowfest, the annual 4th of July Parade and Demolition Derby, and weekly bingo. We encourage all Thunder athletes to work hard, play with pride, and win. Go Thunder!
Welcome back to our pregame coverage here at the Mayport CG Softball Diamond. Let's get into our starting lineups, brought to you by ChristianCarsOnline.com. Visitors on the scoreboard, the Grafton Spoilers. Leading off is going to be Annika Sandgate, and she will be at second base. Batting second, Chloe Cadlick, the pitcher. Batting third for the Spoilers is Regan Austin, the first baseman. Cleanup hitters a shortstop, Jay Anderson. Batting in number 5 spot is Nola Thompson in center. Hitting sixth, Izzy Jenkins. She's a designated player. She'll bat for Adriana Garza. Hitting seventh, Miranda Garcia. And she'll be in left field. Batting eighth is Abby Horisai, the right fielder. And hitting ninth is Caitlin Benavides, the catcher for the Spoilers. Did I get all that right, Chris?
You did.
Wow. Let's take a timeout. Patriots lineup next.
For all of your automotive service needs, call Christian Brothers Ford here in Crookston. We have a service team to handle all of your vehicle's needs. Does your vehicle pull to the right or left? Call and schedule an alignment today. Proper alignment saves gas and wear on your tires. We're here to take care of your vehicle repairs and maintenance. Call Christopher or Jersey in the service department at 281-1338. Make an appointment today with the service department at Christian Brothers Ford of Crookston, where we make it easy.
Grafton, by the way, coached by Courtney Hernandez. And I mentioned Wayne Stegman, an assistant for the Spoilers. Now to the Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood Patriots. For the Patriots, give me a moment here as I try to get everything in the right spot here. Oakley Thomas is going to be the pitcher, and she'll lead off. Batting second is the shortstop, Hudson Zerfus. Hadley Verwest will bat in the number 3 spot and be in center field. Audrey Ringler at third base will hit cleanup. And it's Bryn Kritzberger at second base. Hitting 6th is Bailey Bergstrom at first base. Batting 7th will be Taylor Anderson, the catcher. Cadence Thomas will be in left field and hit 8th. Batting 9th, Kennedy O'Connor, the designated player, and she'll bat for Catherine Cropleen in right field. And that is the Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood lineup. They are coached by Keenan Konchak, assisted by Sydney Kenfield. Coaches and umpires meeting at the plate. We'll come back. Chris Larson's going to bring us the first pitch next on KMAV.
Is Chrysler your brand? How about Dodge? Looking for a Jeep? Oh, I know. You want a Ram. Find all these amazing brands under one roof out of the big city, where they will always remember your name, and small town customer service and pricing is still the name of the game. Christian Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Cooperstown, North Dakota is worth the drive because they have the selection, they have the service after the sale, and because they want your business forever. Not just to hit this month's goal like those big city dealerships. ChristianCDJR.com. They make it easy.
Molstead Excavating specializes in commercial and industrial underground utilities. They install sanitary sewer, water lines, and storm sewers on private and commercial projects in and around the Grand Forks area. Check them out on Facebook and give them a call at 701-746-5474. Molstead Excavating has been serving the area since 1974.
We know you're on the move and like the convenience of being able to do your business when it's convenient for you. Hi, this is Ernie Struby, president of the Goose River Bank. We may be the oldest state bank in North Dakota, but that doesn't mean we haven't transformed with the times, especially when it comes to helping you with your banking needs. We offer leading-edge online and mobile banking services that make it easier for you to do your banking 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We understand you are always on the go. Choose a bank that goes with you no matter where you are. The Goose River Bank, strong community, member FDIC.
Working on a couple of do-it-yourself projects? Mayport Hardware Hank, downtown Mayville, can help you. They have tools for every project, a vast variety of paint, and a whole lot more, from nuts to bolts. You'll find it all at Mayport Hardware Hank, downtown Mayville.
You've got a lot more going for you with Hardware Hank.
Well, I had to look up the records, and according to what Dan's got on our standings page at KMAV.com, Grafton 1-5, 1-4 in the region, and Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood 3-6 and 2-3 in region play. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right, according to what I saw earlier today, at least.
Boy, it is a chilly one today, and there's some fans here, but if you're watching online or listening on the radio, we certainly are glad to have you along.
Talking to Wayne Stegman before this game, the Spoilers haven't been able to play a lot at home. Obviously, cold weather does something to that effect, but nonetheless, they're looking forward to this matchup against the Patriots today, a Spoiler team that has been up and down this year.
Yeah, it sounds like they're an awfully young squad this season, are the Spoilers.
Yeah, they are, and that's, that could be a blessing. It could be a curse for a team that wants to make a deep run into the playoffs. Obviously, a young squad prepares for the years that's coming. But also that leadership, that older leadership is what you need to have a successful team as well.
While we have a moment, I want to thank David Torgeson for working on the internet here in the press box. We had things got a little dicey internet-wise the last time we were here, and we were able to get the game on. But I tell you what, the internet is nice and speedy today.
Oh, that must have been while I was absent.
Yes, sir.
Glad to be back here in the booth, though. It's going to be a great afternoon for softball.
Too bad it's not a little warmer, though.
Oh, yeah, Mother Nature does that to me, though. Just wants to bring me in with a bang. We're getting set here. Annika Sandgren, Coey Cadillac, and Reagan Austin set to face the pitcher of the circle, Oakley Thomas here.
And, of course, you're no stranger to Grafton.
That's right, able to bring a little bit of the insight on what we're going to see here as our first pitch comes this afternoon. First pitch coming at 4:34. That's in for strike one, and Oakley Thomas ahead in the count. No balls and one strike early here. No balls and one strike. Annika Sandgren at the plate for the Grafton Spoilers. Here's the rock of the 0-1 delivery. Swing and a miss, strike two. And Oakley Thomas ahead in the count. No balls and two strikes. No balls, two strikes to the leadoff batter. Annika Sandgren to the Grafton Spoilers. Top of the first inning just underway here. Here's the rock of the 0-2 delivery. Swing and a miss, strike three, and Oakley Thomas retires the leadoff batter on back-to-back-to-back strikes. One away, that brings up Chloe Cadillac. Cadillac, the number 2 batter, the spoiler order today. Here's the first pitch to Cadillac. That's going to be swung on over to second. Taken by, no, it's going to get past the second baseman into the outfield. Brig Kritzberger charged on that one, but it squeaks past her, and we've got a one-out base runner.
So an early error here on the Patriots.
Good effort there by Kritzberger, but she couldn't make the stop. So one on, one out for the Spoilers. As that brings up the third batter of the spoiler order, Reagan Austin.
And we got a courtesy runner at first, but we have no idea who it's going to be because she's wearing a jacket.
The courtesy runner this afternoon is number 2, Jenkins. Swing and a miss, strike one. To Reagan Austin. So Jenkins on at first, courtesy runner, one away. One on, one out here at the top of the first. And here's the pitch from Thomas. Swing and a miss, strike two. Count quickly 0-2 to Reagan Austin. One away here at the bottom or top of the first inning. Here's the rock in the 1-2 pitch or 0-2 pitch. Low for a ball, and the count 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. To the third batter of the order. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Austin is retired on a swinging third strike. There's 2 away now for Jay Anderson. Anderson steps in. Here's the pitch from Oakley Thomas. Outside ball 1 to 1-0 the count to Jay Anderson. Runner on at first, 2 away here at the top of the first. Here's the pitch, swung on, fouled out of play. That's going to go way out of play past the batting cage here on the first base line. And the count 1-1.
Let's set the defense. Outfield left, right. Cadence Thomas, Hadley Ver West, Catherine Crow-Plain. First base is Bailey Bergstrom, Bryn Kritzberger at second, Audrey Ringler at third, Hudson Zerfus at short, Taylor Anderson catching. In the circle, Oakley Thomas.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here. Top of the first, just underway from Mayville. Here's the rock and the 1-1 delivery. Swung on to the backstop and foul. And the count goes 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 on. Here's the rock and the pitch. High for ball 2, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 runner on. Here's the rock and the 2-2 delivery. Low for ball 3, the count will go full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. To the 4th batter, the cleanup batter of the order, Jay Anderson, Nella Thompson on deck if needed for the Spoilers here at the top of the first. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That's going to go to Thomas in the circle over to first. 1-3 the putout, and the Spoilers are retired. Top of the first inning, your score. Grafton 0. Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood to bat here at the bottom of the first on the ChristianCarsOnline.com scoreboard of the Chad's Excavating scoreboard. Bottom of the first, up after this.
Are you ready to sell your home, or maybe you're looking to buy a certain type of home? Give Viking Insurance and Realty a call. Carla Tickerson, Mandy Klossner, and Terry Clable can assist you with the sale of your house. Your home will not be only listed on the Viking Insurance and Realty website, but also with Realtor.com, a multiple listing service. Carla, Mandy, and Terry can also help you find a new home. For your insurance, see Brian for quotes on home, auto, and farm insurance. That's Viking Insurance and Realty.
Successful teams need a place to practice. When the weather doesn't cooperate or teams need extra swings, the Mayport Youth Center provides both the Mayport CG High School and summer baseball and softball teams with an indoor facility, including batting cages and field turf. In the winter, the Mayport Youth Center is home to Mayport Ice Dog Hockey. Good luck to the Mayport CG Patriots from the Mayport Youth Center. Growers, are you thinking about investing in a drain tile project? Chad's Excavating out of Mayville can handle that. Drain tile will improve and increase yields for generations to come. And with free detailed estimates and over 40 years of combined success, Chad and his team will provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today at 701-430-0182. Again, that's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, 701-430-0182, helping farmers grow.
Back to Mayville here, bottom of the first inning. Grafton out in the field right now. Let's take a look at the fielding alignment for the Spoilers. In left is Miranda Garcia. Center field today is Nella Thompson. And in right, we've got, it's here somewhere, Abby Horsey. At third, we've got Adriana Garza. We'll talk about the rest of the infield after the first pitch here. To Oakley Thomas from the pitcher, Chloe Cadillac. Annika Sandgrade at second. At short is Jay Anderson. First pitch of ball, 1-0 the count. Again, the battery is Caitlin Benavides catching. In the circle is Chloe Cadillac. Here, 1-0 pitch from Cadillac. That's in for strike one, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike to the leadoff batter, Oakley Thomas, here for the Patriots. Bottom of the first. Here's the walk in the pitch, I should say. That's going to find green grass. Oakley Thomas will be around second. She's going to round second, head to third, and the Patriots have the leadoff base runner on at Oakley Thomas. Thomas, the pitcher for the Patriots. That brings up Hudson Zerfus, the shortstop, and the sun has appeared in Mayville. What is that shiny orb in the sky?
That'll at least make you feel a little bit warmer.
That's all relative. Hudson Zerfus at the plate. Here's Rock in the pitch. That's in for strike one, and 0-1 the count to Hudson Zerfus. No balls and one strike to Zerfus, second batter of the order. Hadley Verwest due up next for the Patriots. Here in the bottom half of the first. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Swung on to the backstop, and the count will go 0-2. No balls and two strikes to Hudson Zerfus. Shortstop today for the Patriots. Here's the set. The Rock. And the 0-2 delivery. Swung on. That is going to head towards left field. The left fielder on to make the grab. That'll score the run from third. And an RBI sacrifice fly to left gives the Patriots the 1-0 lead. Beautifully executed fly ball by Zerfus to left. Scores the runner in Thomas from third. And a Hadley Verwest to play with the Patriots up 1-0. Bottom of the first. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That's going to go to short. Play over to first. 6-3 the putout. And there's two away for the batter, Audrey Ringler. Ringler today, the third baseman. If needed, bring Kritzberger on deck for Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood here in the bottom of the first. Two away. And here's the first pitch to Audrey Ringler. Ooh, that's inside for a ball. 1-0 the count to Ringler. And just like that, the sun disappears. 1-0 the count to Ringler. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swung on. That one had bat. That one's got the distance. That one is owed to the fence. Ringler round second. She'll head to third. There's going to be a play at third. Ringler is out. 7-5. Ringler is out. And that will complete the inning. Not before the Patriots score one on your ChristianCarsOnline.com scoreboard and the Jazz Excavating scoreboard. Your score, Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood 1, Grafton 0. To the top of the second we go here in Mayville.
Farmers know every seed, every harvest, and every decision impacts their bottom line. Egg Country Farm Credit Services understands the big picture of egg operations. Our member-owned cooperative is focused on your success, providing egg lending and financial services that help you thrive. On the farm, in our offices, or online, we are focused on egg, focused on you.
Always great savings when you shop at Miller's Fresh Food. Check out their new website. It's www.millersfresh.com. At Miller's Fresh Foods, they have an instant cash machine. They accept gift cards, USDA food stamps, and WIC vouchers are all welcome. That's Miller's Fresh Foods, Mayville, Hatton, Cooperstown, Hillsboro, Northwood, Larimore.
Back to Mayville we are. 1-0 your scores. We head to the top of the second as the Patriots erased on the base pass. 7-6-5. And leading off here in the top half of inning number 2 is Nella Thompson, the center fielder for the Spoilers. Oakley Thomas on for her second inning of work. First pitch in for strike one, right down Broadway. 0-1 the count to Oakley to the batter Nella Thompson. No balls, one strike here at the top of the second. Here's the pitch. That one swung on. Go to second, over to first. 4-3 the putout. 1 up, 1 down. That brings up for the Spoilers Izzy Jenkins. 1 up, 1 down here in the top half of the second. Patriots leading 1-0. Jenkins, the designated player today. She is batting for the flex third baseman, Adriana Garza. First pitch of ball, 1-0 the count to Jenkins. Miranda Garcia due up next for the Spoilers. Here's the rock and the 1-0 delivery. High and outside, ball 2-0. Nice contingent of Patriot fans on hand this afternoon. To our left, here's the rock and the 2-0 delivery. Swung on, fouled out of play, and that moves the count to 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Here at the top of the second, 1-0 Patriots. Izzy Jenkins at the plate. She's ahead in the count, 2-1. And now the count will leave it up at 2-2. Courtney Hernandez, head coach of the Spoilers, talking to Jenkins down the third baseline. Wayne Stegman talking to the bench down the first baseline. Here's the wind of the pitch outside, and the count will go 3-2. So a full count pitch upcoming from the hands of Oakley Thomas. Here's the set, the rock, and the pitch. That's swung on into foul territory, but taken there by the first baseman. And that's 2 away. Nice catch there by Bailey Bergstrom. 2 away now for Garcia, Miranda Garcia. At the plate now for the Spoilers. Abby Horsey up next if needed for Grafton. Here's the pitch. First pitch of ball. I don't know if that deflected off of catcher Taylor Anderson. She gets up gingerly. Looks to be trying to work off that hit her in the appears to be the left leg. Craig, I don't know if you had a better sight on that upstairs.
I did not, Chris.
But Keenan Konchak out. Brings a couple of softballs to the umpire. Now Anderson is up talking to Oakley Thomas, her pitcher. Looks to appear to be stretching it off. And she is no worse for wear, it appears. Keenan Konchak making sure his catcher Anderson is ready to go, and she is. So we'll be back to live action with 1-0 count. Tabby Horsey. Check that Garcia. 1-0 the count to Garcia. Here's the rock and the pitch. That swung on foul, and the count will leave it up at 1-1. Now that the sun has appeared, it actually feels like it's warmed up a degree or two.
That's amazing what a difference that'll make.
Miranda Garcia at the plate. 1-1 the count to Garcia. Here's the set. The rock of the pitch. That's going to be swung on, taken by Kritzberger at second. Over to first, and she's safe off the bag. As Bergstrom off the base will allow Garcia to be safe at first. And bring up Abby Horsey. So now the Spoilers have a bit of life in Garcia on at first.
The Spoilers 2 base runners today, both been on airs.
Here's the pitch. That's going to be high over the backstop. And on the wild pitch, Garcia will go down to second. So the Spoilers now have a runner in scoring position at second, 2 away here at the top of the second inning. He's Craig Keating. I'm Chris Larson. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike one. And the count 1-1. One ball, one strike. To the batter, Abby Horsey. Here's the pitch. That's high and outside. 2-1. Runner in scoring position at second. Patriots leading this 1-0. Thomas looks back to the dugout. Now looks at her wristband, and here's the pitch. Low for ball 3 in the count. 3-1. Three and one the count. Caitlin Benavides, the catcher, on deck. Here's the 3-1 delivery. That's on the corner of the plate, called strike 2. And now a 3-2 count as Oakley Thomas and the Patriots look to get out of this, stranding that base runner for the Spoilers at second. Here's the payoff pitch from Thomas. Ball 4, and there will be runners now at the corners. As getting away now.
Patriots are going to let her take second because they are concerned with that runner at third.
Yep. So now we got runners at second and third, 2 away. Caitlin Benavides up, the catcher. Bottom of the order for the Spoilers here in the second inning.
So walking a wild pitch.
Caitlin Benavides. Tiger run on at third. Go-ahead run in scoring position at second. Here's the pitch. High for ball 1 and 1-0 the count. So Thomas has got herself in a little bit of a jam here in the top of the second with runners at second and third. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Low for ball 2. That gets away momentarily. Now Keena Konchak contending that the batter touched the ball. So now the umpires will come together, as I think he was contending that the batter touched the ball while the Patriots were trying to make that play at third. We'll see what this discussion reveals. If that's an out, that ends the inning.
That is correct.
And that would be a huge...
Nope, not going to end the
inning. They're
inning.
not going to end the inning. Keena Konchak now pleading his case with the home plate umpire. As Keena Konchak and the home plate umpire chatting it up right outside home plate. Konchak as that conversation is over, and will remain a 1-0 count with 2 away here to the batter, Benavides. Annika Sangrate up next, if needed, for the Spoilers. That swung on to short. A line drive gets the out, and the Spoilers are retired here with runners in scoring position. We're through an inning and a half here in Mayville. Your score on the ChristianCarsOnline.com scoreboard and the Jad's Excavating scoreboard. It's Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood 1 and Grafton 0. Back to Mayville after this timeout. High school softball.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Rexine, your downtown eye doc. We truly appreciate our patients.
I had a wonderful experience at Eyes on Broadway. The staff was extremely friendly and very personable. The doctors answered all my questions and made the whole experience stress-free. I had hands-on help picking out a new set of frames. I highly recommend going there if you're looking for a cozy, friendly atmosphere with excellent service.
Set up an appointment with Dr. Michael Rexine at michaelrexine.com with locations in both Fargo and Mayville.
I promise you will see the difference.
When you visit Finley Motors of Mayville, it's truly an experience like no other, as our showroom and selection of used vehicles is second to none. Hello, this is Grover with Finley Motors in Mayville, and if you love classic cars and sports cars, you have to check out our massive showroom full of some truly incredible rides. Plus, we have over 60 used pickups, diesels, cars, SUVs, and sports cars for sale at all times. So come admire our showroom, and if you are looking for a great used vehicle, no one has a bigger selection than Finley Motors of Mayville, the used car superstore on Highway 200 in Mayville.
Don't leave your season to chance. Partner with someone who treats your land like their own. Hillside Ag Services is owned and operated by Jason Strand. Proudly serving Portland, North Dakota and the surrounding area, Hillside Ag Services delivers reliable and efficient ag spraying that you can count on. To get on the schedule, call Jason at 701-371-4750. Hillside Ag Services, accuracy, reliability, results.
Bryn Kritzberger to lead off here on the bottom of the second inning. 5, 6, and 7 batters due up for the Patriots here as we enter the bottom of the second inning. It is 5 o'clock. You're listening to high school softball on KMAV. Here's the pitch. It's in for a ball strike. 1-0 the count, or 0-1 the count. 105.5 KMAV. And online on the YouTube stream. Chris Larson, Craig Keating. Here's the wind of the 0-1 pitch to Kritzberger, and that'll even up the count at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Bryn Kritzberger. Bottom of the second inning from Mayville. Here's the wind of the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. That's strike 2, and the count 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the batter, Bryn Kritzberger. Cadillac on for a second inning of work today. Here's the pitch. Swung on straight back to the backstop, and the count remains 1-2. Sometimes I forget that I've got a fence in front of me.
Yep, you're safe, Chris.
I have. Thanks for the reassurance. 1-2 the count to Kritzberger. Here's the wind of the pitch. Strong on. Fouled out of play. Count remains 1-2.
About the only thing would be if suddenly there's like a lightning bolt or something. Other than that, I think you're fine.
Well, thanks for the reassurance, my friend. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the batter, Bryn Kritzberger. Here's the rock and the 1-2 pitch. Swung on deep to the left. It'll get past the left fielder to the fence. Kritzberger will round first, head to second, and be held up at second. Bryn Kritzberger, a leadoff double here on the bottom of the second inning.
Chris, the Patriots have 3 hits so far, and one's a triple and 2 of them are doubles.
As I say, that should be the 3rd extra base hit of the afternoon. It is. That brings up Bailey Bergstrom, first baseman today for the Patriots. Here's the pitch, low with a dirt ball 1-0 the count to Bailey Bergstrom. Last time I was with you for a game, the Patriots struggled to get extra base hits. Today, they've got 3 of them. Here's the 1-0 pitch. High and outside, ball 2-0. Bailey Bergstrom, the first baseman, on at the plate. Taylor Anderson, the catcher, on deck for Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood. 1-0 our score. Here's the pitch. That's called strike 2. And the count will leave it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Bailey Bergstrom here on the bottom of the second inning.
2-1.
Check that, 2-1. Here's the wind, the 2-1 delivery outside. Ball 3, and the count goes 3-1. In a ball game that's about an hour old, we've played an inning plus. I should say an inning and a half plus. 3-1 delivery coming. to Bergstrom. That one's fallen out of play, and the count goes full at 3-2. Junior high softball was supposed to have a game on the field adjacent to us, but a scheduling snafu. They are practicing and supporting the Patriot girls. That one swung on. That's into left field. The shortstop comes over to make the grab. She does for out number one. The grab made there by Jay Anderson. So one away brings up Taylor Anderson. Anderson, the catcher today, number 7 batter in the Patriot order. Cadence Thomas, the left fielder, on deck if needed for Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood. One away. Here is the pitch. That one swung on, taking a short over to first in time, but that'll move the runner Kritzberger over to third. So a runner in scoring position at third now, 2 away, brings up Cadence Thomas. Thomas, left fielder today, number 8 batter in the Patriot order. Candy O'Connor, the designated player, batting for the Flex. Catherine Crope-Lead, right fielder, on deck if needed. Swing and a miss, high one. Strike one to Cadence Thomas. 0-1 the count. That ball floated high as it came to the plate. 0-1 the count to Thomas. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Swung on, popped up into the infield. The shortstop will come over, make the grab. The inning is over, but not before the Patriots get a base runner. And after an inning and a half here in Mayville, on the ChristianCarsOnline.com scoreboard and the Chad's Excavating scoreboard, to the bottom of the third we go. Your score remains Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood 1, Grafton nothing, here on KMAV and the YouTube stream.
Hatton Prairie Village is an award-winning nursing home and assisted living facility located in Hatton. For the 13th consecutive year, Hatton Prairie Village has been ranked a 5-star facility by CMS. And for the 11th consecutive year, we have been named among the top nursing homes in the country by U.S. News and World Report, and one of the top facilities in the U.S. for customer experience and satisfaction by Pinnacle Quality Insight. If you are thinking about a nursing home or assisted living apartment, we hope you consider Hatton Prairie Village, a nationally ranked facility for over a decade, providing superior care and services.
Sports fans on your way to and from the games, make sure to stop in at Hatton and Pride, conveniently located on Highway 18 North in Hatton. Besides fuel for your vehicle and a complete convenience store, Hatton and Pride now features For Real malts in several flavors. And they have pizza, subs, daily fresh baked pastries, an ATM machine, lottery tickets, 24-hour pay-at-the-pump fuel service. For pickup pizza and sub orders, call 543-4000. Hatton and Pride, part of your locally owned cooperative.
Back to Mayville, bottom of the third. We are set to go. High school baseball this afternoon between the Grafton Spoilers, Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood Patriots. Annika Sangrate, top of the order to lead off for the Spoilers here on the top of the third. Yes, you heard right. We are only top of the third. Here's the pitch from Oakley Thomas. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike one. And the count 0-1 to Annika Sangrate. Oh, 1 the count to Sangrate, top of the order for the Spoilers. That one swung on foul, and the count will go 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Annika Sangrate, top of the order. Chloe Cadillac and Regan Austin due up next for the Spoilers. When the wind dies down, it actually is bearable out here. Here's the 0-2 pitch. High for ball 1-2. We'll have high school softball next Monday here from Mayville. Patriots take on Thompson. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Sandgrate's retired on a swinging third strike for out number 1, and that brings up Chloe Cadillac. Cadillac, the pitcher today for the Spoilers.
Oakley Thomas, 3 strikeouts through 2 1/3 innings.
We have high school baseball scheduled for later this week. We'll have Craig get you caught up on that here when we have a moment. Chloe Cadillac up. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1, 0-1 the count to Chloe Cadillac.
Cadillac is 0 for 1, reached on an error in the first.
0-1 the count to Cadillac. Here's the wind of the 0-1 pitch, high for a ball, and the count evens up at 1-1.
We'll have Dan Keating on the call on Friday on KMAV and on YouTube as Mayport CG will be at home against Hatton-Northwood. 4:30 on Friday.
That one's a swing and a miss, strike 2. Cadillac swings at the Stars of the count 1-2. Rigging out Austin on deck. Jay Anderson if needed here on the top of the third. Here's the rock of the pitch. That's called strike 3 right down the heart of Broadway. And Cadillac is retired on a seeing third strike. And that brings up Regan Austin. So, Oakley Thomas doing well here the first 2 1/3 innings. First pitch coming to Austin. Here's the rock of the pitch. Oh, that one at the knees. 1-0 the count to Regan Austin.
Austin today is 0 for 1, struck out in the first inning.
Austin 1-0 the count. Here's the rock of the pitch. To the backstop of the count. We'll leave it up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Austin. 1-0 our score. Anderson gets back in her position. Here's the pitch. 2-1. Two and one the count to Austin. Here's the rock of the 2-1 pitch, high for ball 3, and the count goes 3-1. Regan Austin at the plate. Ahead in the count, 3-1 with 2 away. Here's the pitch, high for ball 4, and so Austin will be on with a 2-out walk, and that brings up Jay Anderson. Anderson today, the shortstop.
Second walk allowed by Oakley Thomas. Anderson's 0 for 1, grounded out back to the pitcher.
Here's the first pitch to Anderson. That one's going to be swung on over to third. It's going to get to the shortstop, and Zerfus will not make the play. And so now we'll have a 2-out base runner at first and second.
That will be an infield hit. First hit for Grafton today.
So the first hit of the ball game registered here at the top of the third. That brings up Nola Thompson. Tying a run in scoring position at second. Go ahead run in at first. 2 away here at the top of the third. First pitch in for a strike. 0-1 the count to Nola Thompson.
Thompson at the plate is 0 for 1, grounded out to the second baseman, Kritzberger, in the second.
0-1 the count. Here's the pitch to Thompson. That one outside of the count evens up at 1-1. Nola Thompson, 5th batter of the spoiler order today. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Swinging a foul. No, it's going to be swung on. And it's going to get past the catcher. So now we'll have runners at second and third. But more importantly, a 1-2 count to Nola Thompson. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. 1-0 Patriots. Top of the third. Here's the wind of the pitch. Low, and that'll even up the count at 2-2. Two balls, two strikes, two outs, two on. Top of the third. Here's the set, the rock, and the pitch. Right down the heart of the plate, called strike three. And just like that, the Spoilers are retired. To the bottom of the third we go. The score on the ChristianCarsOnline.com scoreboard of the Jazz Excavating scoreboard remains Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood 1, Grafton nothing. Bottom of the third coming up next here on KMAV and the YouTube stream.
Molstead Excavating specializes in commercial and industrial underground utilities. They install sanitary sewer, water lines, and storm sewers on private and commercial projects in and around the Grand Forks area. Check them out on Facebook and give them a call at 701-746-5474. Molstead Excavating has been serving the area since 1974.
The Hatton Men's Club would like to wish good luck to all Hatton-Northwood Thunder sports teams this season. A proud supporter of Hatton-Northwood Thunder athletics, along with many other youth activities and organization, the Hatton Men's Club works to raise funds, organize events, and provide opportunities for the kids of the community, focused on making Hatton a great place to live and raise a family. Check out the Hatton Men's Club Facebook page for updates, including Santa and the Elves, Snowfest, the annual 4th of July Parade and Demolition Derby, and weekly bingo. We encourage all Thunder athletes to work hard, play with pride, and win. Go Thunder!
To the bottom of the third we go here in Mayville. Your score, Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood 1 and Grafton nothing. Chloe Cadillac on for her third inning of work for the Spoilers. And she will face the 9-1-2 batters in Candy O'Connor, Oakley Thomas, and Hudson Zerfus. O'Connor will step in. Her first at bat of the afternoon. Here in the bottom of the third. Here's the rock of the pitch. In for ball 1-0 the count. 1 ball, no strikes to the leadoff batter, the designated player, Kennedy O'Connor. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on. That's going to be a number to the third baseman. Grab is made, and there's 1 up, 1 down here on the bottom of the third. That brings up top of the order Oakley Thomas, the pitcher today. Nice play to Garza over there at third. 1 away, top of the order Oakley Thomas. Here's the first pitch. High for ball 1-0 the count. Thomas and then Hudson Zerfus due up here at the bottom of the third. Hanley Verwest if needed. Here's the rock of the pitch. Low for a ball, and the count goes 2-0.
Oakley Thomas is 1 for 1. She had a leadoff triple and scored the game's only run.
Thomas started this game off with giving the ball a ride. And she's ahead in the count 0-2. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and the count 3-0. Now the umpire calls time. Cleans off home plate. A very low-scoring game here in the bottom of the third. Here in Mayville, 1-0 your score. Due in part likely to the cold weather we're experiencing. Here's the pitch. High for ball 4, and Oakley Thomas will walk down to first on a 4-pitch walk, and that brings up Hudson Zerfus.
That is the first walk allowed by Cadlick.
So Cadlick threw 2 1/3, giving up only 1 walk. And that was to the leadoff batter, Oakley Thomas, just moments ago. Now Hudson Zerfus is looking to show bunt. We'll see if she stays with it. And she'll pull back, and now we'll have a stolen base. So that show bunt steal gets the runner into scoring position with one away. Want to know the count? Hudson Zerfus at the plate. Here's the pitch. And the count will go 2-0 as that gets to the backstop, advancing Oakley Thomas to third. So now the game's second run just feet away here. 2-0 count to Hudson Zerfus. Here's the pitch. That one, give it a ride. That'll get back. That's back. That's gone. Home run, Patriots. Hudson Zerfus rounds third, heads for home, and she'll have a 2-run home run. The Patriots lead it 3-0. That was a prime example, Craig, of the wind just picking it up and sending it over the fence.
I think she might have even been fighting the wind a little bit on that, but
she was.
That was a well-hit ball, and she's now got 3 runs batted in. She had that sacrifice in the first inning.
That brings up Hadley Verwest. Again, your score now 3-0 Patriots. Audrey Ringler on deck. Here's the first pitch to Verwest. It's in for strike one, 0-1 the count. On a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Here's the wind of the 0-1 pitch. Swung on foul in the count, 0-2. It's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon if you're ready to build an igloo. Here in the Northern Plains, 0-2 the count. To Hadley Verwest, and she'll get hit. And so Verwest will be on with a hit by pitch. Here's the pitch, swung on. That's going to get into the outfield, a base hit. And 1 run will score. And Bryn Kritzberger gets the RBI single for Bailey Bergstrom. Again, all of this happening here with 1 out. Bailey Bergstrom at the plate, Audrey Ringler at second, Bryn Kritzberger at first. 4-0 Patriots. There's a bunt up the left field side. It's the throw in time. It is not. The run will score. And Bailey Bergstrom on with an RBI single, scoring Ringler from third. 5-0 your score. That brings up the catcher, Taylor Anderson. Runners at first and second, 5-0 Patriots. Here's the pitch. High and outside, 1-0 the count. Cadillac having a bit of control issues here. Her catcher telling her to take a breath. Looking down the first base side, nobody warming up in the spoiler bullpen. That's going to be swung on, taken by the third baseman. She'll get the lead runner out, but it'll move the runner from first over to second, so now 2 away. Cadence Thomas at the plate. Fielder's choice, Anderson reaches. And Avea Ringler is going to come in to run at first. For Taylor Anderson. Keenan Konchak announcing the change. as Coach Courtney Hernandez, said they don't have a 19 on the lineup card, and I'm looking at the lineup card that I was given. There is a 19. She found it. We're good to go. Cadence Thomas up now. 8th batter in the Patriot order. Kennedy O'Connor, if needed, on deck. Bottom of the third, 5-0 your score. Here's the pitch, swung on, popped up, foul and out of play. And the count will go 1 to Cadence Thomas. In a game that is well over an hour old here, or about an hour old. Here's the pitch. Swung on, foul, and the count 0-2 to Cadence Thomas. Should Thomas reach, Candy O'Connor on deck for Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood here on the bottom of the third. 0-2 the count to Thomas. 2 away, runner at first in Avea Ringler. Here's the pitch, swung on, foul and out of play, and the count will remain 0-2. Cadence Thomas gets a good piece of that ball. Stays alive in the count 0-2. Kennedy O'Connor waits. Here's the rock of the 0-2 delivery. Swung on. That's going to be into foul territory and out of play. In fact, was caught by a junior varsity or junior high player practicing on the field adjacent to us. So Cadence Thomas stays alive here at the plate. 0-2 the count. 8th batter of the order for the Patriots. Here's the rock. And the 0-2 delivery, swung on, foul and out of play. Down the first base side this time. So Thomas stays alive. Cadence Thomas, left fielder today for Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood. Here's the rock of the 0-2 delivery. Swung on. That is going to get out to the left fielder. She'll make the right fielder. Makes the grab. And the inning is over. Your score after 3 on the Chad's Excavating and ChristianCarsOnline.com scoreboard. It's Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood 5, Grafton 0. Back after this timeout, top of the 4th coming up on KMAV and the YouTube stream.
Having money to get your crop in the ground isn't enough. What's your plan? Where do you want to be years down the road? Hello, this is Ernie Struby, president of the Goose River Bank. We care about you and your farming operation. We want to help you to be successful. Don't settle for any financial institution. Choose one that understands your current needs and can help you work towards your long-term goals and objectives. We have a long history based in the Red River Valley. We pride ourselves on understanding agriculture, and we'd be honored to be your bank. The Goose River Bank, strong community, member FDIC.
Look to Luther Memorial Home for a rewarding career working with people. Luther Memorial Home is currently looking for CNAs, full-time and part-time, on all shifts. Starting wages are over $21 an hour, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus for full-time employees. For more information about employment at Luther Memorial Home or taking the next CNA class, contact Jessica Mock in Human Resources at 701-786-3401 or visit luthermemorialhome.com for an application.
Top of the third we go. I think it should be top of the 4th, shouldn't it, Craig?
Yeah, it's top of the 4th.
Top of the 4th we go. Oakley Thomas on for 4th inning of work. Patriots ahead in the ball game 5-0. That one swung on. Taken by Hudson Zerfus at short over to first. 1 up, 1 down here in the inning. And that brings up, I believe this is number 10, Miranda Garcia.
Yeah, that's right.
So, Izzy Jenkins, the designated player, retired. 1 up, 1 down. Miranda Garcia at the plate. Here's the rock of the first pitch. That's one swung on. Fouling on a plate count, 0-1. 0-1 the count to Miranda Garcia. Here in the top half of the 4th inning. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Popped up into foul territory. The first baseman, Bergstrom, calls him off, and there's 2 up, 2 down. And that brings up Abby Horsey. Abby Horsey with 2 away here on the bottom of the, or top of the 4th. Here's the rock of the pitch. High for ball 1, 1-0 the count to Abby Horsey. Patriots trying to retire the spoilers. 1-2-3 here on the top of the 4th. Here's the rock and the 1-0 delivery. Swing and a miss, strike 1 on the count, leave it up, and a ball and a strike. Caitlin Benavides due up next if needed for the Grafton Spoilers. Horsey tied in the count, 1-1. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2, and the count 1-2. Spoilers, or Patriots, 1 pitch away from a 1-2-3 inning here at the top of the 4th. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Low for a ball, the count leaving up at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on here at the top of the 4th. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the inning is over. We're halfway home here in Mayville on the Chad's Excavating scoreboard and the ChristianCarsOnline.com scoreboard. Your score, Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood 5, Grafton 0.
Growers, are you thinking about investing in a drain tile project? Chad's Excavating out of Mayville can handle that. Drain tile will improve and increase yields for generations to come. And with free detailed estimates and over 40 years of combined success, Chad and his team will provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today at 701-430-0182. Again, that's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, 701-430-0182, helping farmers grow.
Working on a couple of do-it-yourself projects? Mayport Hardware Hank, downtown Mayville, can help you. They have tools for every project, a vast variety of paint, and a whole lot more, from nuts to bolts. You'll find it all at Mayport Hardware Hank, downtown Mayville.
You've got a lot more going for you with Hank Hardware Hank.
Bottom of the 4th coming up here on KMAV 105.5 FM. And on the YouTube stream, Chris Larson, Craig Keating. In a game, Craig, that was tight in the first 2 innings, kind of has blown open here in the middle, too.
Yeah, Patriots picked up 4 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and they're all going to end up earned runs. All 5 Patriot runs are earned, in fact, so 5-0 lead, halfway point.
Halfway point, the batter is coming. It's Candy O'Connor, 9th batter of the order. So to go O'Connor, Oakley Thomas, and Hudson Zerfus to lead off here on the bottom half of inning number 4 here in Mayville. The pitcher, Chloe Cadillac of Grafton, still in the circle, taking her final warm-up tosses. now that the wind has calmed down a little bit, it's a little more bearable. Candy O'Connor steps in, first pitch in for strike. 0-1 the count to Candy O'Connor. Oh, and 1 the count to O'Connor. Here at bottom of the fourth, here's the pitch. High for ball one, and the count will go 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Leadoff batter, Candy O'Connor on. Oakley Thomas on deck. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. And O'Connor down to the count now, 0-2. Check that 1-2. Sidney Kenfield over at first base, telling O'Connor to give the ball a ride. 1-2 pitch. Swung on. Over to third. Back to first, and 1 up, 1 down. Here at the bottom of the fourth. That brings up Oakley Thomas. Thomas, the pitcher this afternoon. For the Graftons, or for the Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood Patriots. Here's the first pitch to Thomas. Low for ball 1, 1-0 the count. One ball, no strikes to Oakley Thomas. Hudson Surface on deck next. Here's the pitch. That one swung on to the backstop, 1-1. And you're listening this evening here on 105.5 KMAV FM Mayville. And on the YouTube stream. Here's the pitch, high for a ball, 2-1. Two and 1 the count to Oakley Thomas. Check that 3. Yes, 2-1. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Swing and a miss, strike 2, and the count leaving up at 2-2. Two and 2 the count to Oakley Thomas. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Down the left field side. And out. They're going to call her out on the foul. All the way out was that one, and that brings up Hudson Surface. Here's the pitch. Ball 1, 1-0 the count to Hudson Surface.
Surface sacrifice fly, a home run, 3 runs batted in.
Again, all of that happening in the first 3 innings. Here's the pitch. Outside ball 2, 2-0. The winds have appeared to gone a little less strong. That one's high for ball 3. Back-to-back-to-back balls puts Surface ahead in the count, 3-0. Here's the pitch. Ball 4, and Surface will be on with a 4-pitch walk here with 2 away. Hadley Verwest, center fielder, due up next. Verwest 1 on, 2 out. $5-0 Patriots. Verwest shows bunt. Pulls back high for a ball, and Zerfus will be in scoring position at second with the stolen base. So Zerfus on in scoring position at second, 2 away. 1-0 pitch, swung on. That'll find the grass in left field. And Verwest will be on with a RBI. So Verwest reaches first on the RBI on the single, advances to second on the throw, scores Zerfus.
Chris, I'm going to score that a double as she never stopped and she slid in head first to the bag and they just couldn't get her in time.
Well, this is why they pay you the big bucks.
Something like that.
It's now Chloe Cadillac tightens up her shoelaces. She's got the hard-hitting Audrey Ringler up next. Six nothing your score. In the bottom of the fourth, here's the rock and the pitch. Low for a ball, 1-0 the count to Audrey Ringler. Bryn Kritzberger on deck if needed for the Patriots here on the bottom of the fourth, 2 away. A runner in scoring position at second. That one low for a ball, 2-0. Two on the count to Audrey Ringler. Here's the pitch. Swung on to short. Taken by the shortstop, and it gets away from the first baseman. Run will score. And reaching second on the errant throw is Audrey Ringler. So reaching on an error is Ringler. And that brings up Bryn Kritzberger. 7-0 your score. Here's the pitch. High for ball 1-0 the count to Bryn Kritzberger. Here's the rock and the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike one, and the count leave it up at 1-1. 7-0 your score. You're in the bottom half of the fourth, scheduled for 7. Here's the 1-1 delivery, high for a ball, count 2-1.
Kritzberger's 2 for 2, doubled in the second, RBI single in the third.
Threatening here in the fourth. Bailey Bergstrom due up next for the Patriots. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Swung on, foul. Count will leave it up at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 1 runner on, a 7-0 score here on the bottom of the fourth. Here's the 2-2 delivery outside. Ball 3, and the count will go full at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the payoff pitch, outside ball 4. And on with the walk will be Bryn Kritzberger. Bailey Bergstrom due up next.
Cadlick's allowed 4 walks today. Bergstrom 1 for 2, an RBI bunt single last time up.
And a bunt single here would put the Spoilers into a precarious position. Here's the wind of the pitch. That's it for strike 1 on the corner of the plate. 0-1 the count to Bailey Bergstrom. Catcher Taylor Anderson on deck next for the Patriots. Here's the pitch. Low for a ball, and the count evens up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out, 2 on. Bottom of the fourth, 7-0 your score. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be up the middle. Base hit. 1 run will score. They're going to send the runner to third. And trying to extend it into a double is Bergstrom. She can't, but the run will score. It's 8-0. So an RBI single for Bailey Bergstrom moves Kritzberger to third, scores Audrey Ringler, and Taylor Anderson, the catcher, 7th batter of the order, coming up here in the bottom of the fourth. 8-0 your score.
Anderson today is 0 for 2, grounded out, and a fielder's choice.
Here's the rock of the pitch. That one will get away, and that will send Kritzberger to the plate, runner to third, and she's safe as Bailey Bergstrom. Bailey Bergstrom slides in safe at third, and quickly it's 9-0. Brings up Taylor Anderson. Spoiler catcher Benavides. I don't know if it's just getting cold out or if she's starting to cramp up a little bit. That one swung on. That's a hard, hot shot to third. That'll score a run and an RBI single for Taylor Anderson. Makes it 10-0. Now we got a runner headed to third. I believe this is going to be a Vea Ringler again. Maybe. Hard to tell with the girls wearing sweatshirts this afternoon, but I don't blame them. 10-0 your score. Here's the first pitch to Cadence Thomas. 1-0 the count to Thomas. Candy O'Connor due up next. You're on the bottom of the fourth. Here's the pitch. That one off the lid of the catcher. Here's the rock of the pitch. Swung on, popped up into the outfield. The left fielder, or shortstop, it came into the infield. Shortstop makes the grab, and the inning is over. We're through 4 here in Mayville on the ChristianCarsOnline.com scoreboard and the Chad's Excavating scoreboard. Your score through 4. Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood 10, Grafton 0. Back with more high school softball on 105.5 KMAV and the YouTube stream.
Successful teams need a place to practice. When the weather doesn't cooperate or teams need extra swings, the Mayport Youth Center provides both the Mayport CG High School and summer baseball and softball teams with an indoor facility, including batting cages and field turf. In the winter, the Mayport Youth Center is home to Mayport Ice Dog Hockey. Good luck to the Mayport CG Patriots from the Mayport Youth Center.
Egg Country Farm Credit Services offers a wide range of fixed interest rate options to match each customer's needs. If future interest rates fall, customers can take advantage of our rate conversion options to capture opportunity. Discover the Egg Country Advantage that provides our customers long-term interest rate protection. To learn more about your options, contact your local Egg Country office today. Egg Country, focused on egg, focused on you.
Lunchtime, supper, or for a snack, any time is a great time to stop at the Pizza Shop in Mayville. Choose from taste-tempting pizza, chicken, subs, burgers, and more, plus all your favorite beverages. Dine in or call 786-3273 to place a carry-out order. For great food, service, and atmosphere, it's the Pizza Shop in Mayville.
Top of the fifth here in Mayville. Patriots lead at 10-0. You're on 105.5 KMAV in the YouTube stream. Last call for the Spoilers. They've got to get one to keep this rolling here on the top of the fifth inning. And due up.
9-1-2.
First pitch in for a ball. 1-0 the count to Caitlin Benavides. 1-0 the count to Benavides.
Patriots picked up 5 runs in the bottom of the fourth. 1 earned run, 4 unearned runs, but a 10-0 lead and a chance for a 10-run rule game.
Second pitch in for a strike, and the count will leave it up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to the batter, Caitlin Benavides. Annika Sagre, top of the order, due up next. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's outside for ball 2, 2-1. Should say inside for ball 2. Low. Here's the pitch. That one swung on down the third base line. Foul. Count will stay at 2-2. Glad to have you along with us here on, whether you're listening on 105.5 KMAV on the KMAV.com website or watching us on the YouTube stream. Chris Larson, Craig Keating here. There's the 2-2 delivery. Swung on foul. The count remains still 2-2. Caitlin Benavides, ninth batter of the order for the Spoilers. Top of the order, Annika Sagre, due up next. Here's the pitch, high for a ball, and the count will go full at 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff batter, Caitlin Benavides. Here's the pitch, ball 4, and Benavides on with a 6-pitch walk. And that brings up Annika Sagre. Number 1 batter of the order, Annika Sagre, today, second baseman for the Grafton Spoilers. Here's the first pitch to Sagre. Shows bunt, and she'll bunt that foul. And the count goes 0-1. No balls, 1 strike to the batter, Sagre, here on the top of the 5th. Game extending run on at first. 0-1 the count to Sagre. Here's the pitch from Oakley Thomas. She'll bunt that one again, foul. And the count is 0-2. So Sagre now is going to have to swing away. Down to the count 0-2. Here's the rock of the 0-2 pitch. Ball 1 to 1-2 the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Sagre. Runner on at first. Nobody out here at the top of the 5th. That's a pitch. Swung on a play. And Sagre will stay alive at the plate. 1-2. Chloe Cadillac on deck. Sagre again to face a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. High for ball 2, and the count will even up at 2-2. Two and 2 the count. Here's the rock of the pitch. Swung on, foul, and the count remains 2-2. Sangre doing a great job at the plate, staying in the count. Staying in the at-bat as the count is still 2-2. Thomas looked into the dugout, got the sign from Coach Kenfield. Here's the 2-2 delivery. High for ball 3, and the count will go full at 3-2. Patriots looking to shut out the Spoilers this afternoon. Spoilers looking to extend the game. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the rock of the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sandra Great retired on a swinging third strike. That brings up Chloe Cadillac.
That's 7 strikeouts for Oakley Thomas in the circle.
Thomas very strong this afternoon in the circle. Last time out for me, she came in during the Ada Borup West game, pitched very well. That's in for strike 1, 0-1 the count to Cadillac. Thomas looking for the complete game, or the complete game shutout. Ahead in the count, 0-1 with 1 away. Here's the pitch. Swung on, foul and out of play. And the count quickly 0-2. And the Spoilers down to their final 4 strikes of the afternoon. Oakley Thomas ahead in the count, 0-2, 1 away, runner at first. Here's the rock of the 0-2 delivery. That's in the dirt, ball 1 to the count, 1-2. The runner will get to second. On the wild pitch does Benavidez. So we have a runner in scoring position at second, 1 away, 10-0 Spoilers trail. They're looking to get on the board here at the bottom of the 5th. To extend this to the top, or they're looking to get out here at the top of the 5th to extend it to the bottom. Pitch is low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes, or 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Here's the rock and the pitch. Swung on, fouling out of play, and the count will remain 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 away, runner in scoring position at second. And that one's going to be popped up in the infield. Bergstrom calls for it. Almost a collision. The out is made. And the Spoilers down to their final out. We are nearing 6 o'clock here on this Tuesday afternoon. You're listening to high school softball on 105.5 KMAV Mayville, online on the YouTube stream. Chris Larson, Craig Keating with you. There's the pitch, low for a ball, 1-0 the count. And the runner will get to third. Reagan Ossent is the batter. She is ahead in the count, 1-0. Benavidez at third represents the game continuing run. Oakley Thomas and the Patriots trying to get out of this one. Here's the pitch. High for a ball. And now there's going to be no play at the plate. The run will score. And that will extend us to at least the bottom of the 5th inning here. As the Spoilers are on the board here at the top of the 5th, it's 10-1.
Yeah, the base runner Benavidez moved to second, third, and home plate, all on wild pitches. 3 wild pitches this inning.
And the pitch swung on foul, and the count 2-1. That just shows you, Craig, what damage a wild pitch can do, and that cost the Patriots as they wanted to try and end this. Now they got to play at least another half inning.
Well, a good thing it's not too cold out, right?
Again, that is a relative term. That one high ball 3-1.
Well, Patriots know that if they can get out of this and keep a 9-run lead, they just need to run in the bottom of the fifth.
Patriots lead this one by 9. Here's the pitch. That's in for strike 2. And now the Spoilers down to their final strike this half inning. Reagan Austin. Here's the pitch to Austin. Called strike 3 and the inning is over. But not before the Spoilers plate 1. We're after 4.5 here on the ChristianCarsOnline.com scoreboard and the Jazz Excavating scoreboard. Your score as we head to the bottom of the fifth. It's Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood 10 and Grafton 1. Bottom of the fifth after this on KMAV in the YouTube stream.
Depend on the experienced team at Hub International to get the most out of your risk management strategy. Here's Corey McGillis.
Every year is different. We do want them to come in. We sit down, we will evaluate what they did, and then we'll look forward to this coming crop year and see if there's any changes that they should be making to best utilize their protection.
Hub International at Portland, Mayville, Edmore, Hatton, Buxton, and Mentor.
With global resources.
Stop in and meet Kristen Sanders, the new farm and crop rep. Always great savings when you shop at Miller's Fresh Food. Check out their new website. It's www.millersfresh.com. At Miller's Fresh Foods, they have an instant cash machine. They accept gift cards, USDA food stamps, and WIC vouchers are all welcome. That's Miller's Fresh Foods, Mayville, Hatton, Cooperstown, Hillsboro, Northwood, Larimore.
At Eyes on Broadway and Rexine Family Eye Care, we know that all lenses are not the same. Whether you are working at a screen all day, driving at night, or enjoying the outdoors, the right lens can make all the difference. Our expert opticians take the time to understand your lifestyle and recommend the perfect lens and coating for your unique needs.
Set up an appointment with Dr. Michael Rexine at michaelrexine.com with locations in both Fargo and Mayville.
I promise you will see the difference.
Bottom of the fifth we go. 10-1 your score on KMAV 105.5 FM and the YouTube stream. Chris Larson, Craig Keating here. Candy O'Connor, the 9-1-2 batters due up here for the third inning in a row. It's 9-1-2 batters due up. That is an anomaly, my friends. Here's the wind of the pitch. That's in for strike 1. 0-1 the count to Candy O'Connor.
O'Connor 0 for 2, popped out to third, grounded out to third.
O'Connor behind to the count, 0-1. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be swung on foul. O'Connor goes behind to the count now, 0-2. Oakley Thomas, the pitcher of record this afternoon. And now into evening, due up next for the Patriots. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Swung on, taken by the shortstop, and line drive out number 1. One away brings up top of the order Oakley Thomas, the pitcher today. We'll get her line score here in the batting circle in a moment. High for ball 1, 1-0 the count.
And Thomas 1 for 2, a triple, a walk, 2 runs.
Not a bad afternoon at the plate. Not a bad afternoon in the circle. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. And the count evens up at 1-1. Don't forget High School Baseball Friday here from Mayville. Dan Keating, Craig Keating on the call of that one. Thompson at Mayport CG. We'll be back here with you next week for high school softball. That's in the dirt, 2-1. We'll be on the air Monday as the Patriots host Thompson in high school softball. Craig Keating and I on the call of that one here from Mayville. Here's the 2-1 delivery, swung on over to short. The shortstop Struggles, it's over her head, and now Thomas is going to run. She'll head to second, as reaching second by way of the error is Oakley Thomas.
That's actually going to be 2 errors. There'll be an error allowing her to reach, and the throwing error allows her to advance.
So now we've got a runner in scoring position. The game-ending run for Hudson Surface.
That's 4 errors committed by Grafton.
Here's the pitch. That's in for strike one. 0-1 the count to Hudson Surface.
Surface had a very good day. Sacrifice, a home run, a walk, 2 runs, and 3 runs batted in.
0-1 the count to Hudson Surface. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Is that going to be trouble? The left fielder goes on to make the grab. No, there's a collision darn near. And the out is recorded. And now Oakley Thomas moves up. As now looks like the left fielder for the Spoilers may be shaken up a bit.
Yeah, it looked like Garcia was able to hang on, but Thompson ran into her, both trying to go after that fly ball.
Courtney Hernandez making her way out to left field to talk to the left fielder. Ian Garcia, Miranda Garcia, ranged over to make that grab. And I'm not sure just if there's a little miscommunication in the outfield. But she collided with Nola Thompson. Nola Thompson.
Well, it looks like she'll be all right. Hadley Verwest will step in, and she is 1 for 2. She's got a double, was also hit by a pitch back in the third. She scored 2 and driven in a run, and a base hit would end this ball game.
So we're back to live action. Nola Thompson and Garcia. That one's gone to the fence, and 1 run will score.
Doesn't matter. The game's over. They call her out. It doesn't matter. She only had to get to first base.
Out is recorded.
That's going to be a single because that's all. That's a 10-run rule. Score, the run scores, and it's a single.
And that will end our bowl game. Your final score on the ChristianCarsOnline.com scoreboard of the Chad's Excavating scoreboard. Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood 11, Grafton 1. Post-game show up next here on 105.5 KMAV and the YouTube stream.
This is Jasper with Jacobson Brothers. Let's keep your lawn healthy all summer long with the fertilizer and weed control program. We offer not only fertilizer and weed control, but seasonal lawn care and landscaping for your home or business. So whether you are in Mayville, Portland, Golden Lake, Hatton, Hillsboro, any of the surrounding area, give me a call at 701-430-1380. Find us online at jacobsonbros.com.
For all of your automotive service needs, call Christian Brothers Ford here in Crookston. We have a service team to handle all of your vehicle's needs. Does your vehicle pull to the right or left? Call and schedule an alignment today. Proper alignment saves gas and wear on your tires. We're here to take care of your vehicle repairs and maintenance. Call Christopher or Jersey in the service department at 281-1338. Make an appointment today with the service department at Christian Brothers Ford of Crookston, where we make it easy.
Looking for more than a generic insurance quote from a faceless email? Well, Farmers Union insurance agents are different. We live right down the street. We know all about your business because your customers are our customers. When you need us, we'll show up at the drop of a hat to talk person to person. Yep, we're different. Like you. That's the way we do business. Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
See Jason Walswick and Kurt Larrow in Findlay.
Not all products underwritten by Farmers Union Insurance.
Hatton Prairie Village is an award-winning nursing home and assisted living facility in Hatton. For the 13th consecutive year, Hatton Prairie Village has been ranked a 5-star facility by CMS. And for the 11th consecutive year, we have been named among the top nursing homes in the country by U.S. News and World Report, and one of the top facilities in the U.S. for customer experience and satisfaction by Pinnacle Quality Insight. If you are thinking about a nursing home or assisted living apartment, we hope you consider Hatton Prairie Village, a nationally ranked facility for over a decade, providing superior care and services.
Hatton Co-op Oil, your locally owned cooperative, offers a variety of automotive services, including oil changes, tires, brake repair, transmission repair, and more. Their certified mechanics are dedicated to completing your services efficiently, on time, and at affordable rates. Hatton Co-op Oil also features a full service station, bulk oil and fuel delivery, on-farm tire service, and propane for your heating or drying needs. To order or schedule an appointment, call 543-3871, 543-3871 for Hatton Co-op Oil.
11-1 the final score as Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood defeats Grafton. Game shortened to 5 innings on the 10-run rule. Chris, Patriots almost had it done going into the top of the 5th, almost finished the game off in the top of the 5th, but Grafton got that run and kept the game alive, but the Patriots answered quickly.
Back-to-back-to-back pass balls really was the difference maker in that 4th inning. They could have been out of the jam there, but for those pass balls, it just extended. Give Grafton credit; they did not give up until the very end of this ball game.
Nice win for the Patriots here, winning by the 10-run rule, and it's a good bounce back from losing by the 10-run rule last week.
That's huge, and it's a confidence booster for the Patriots. You want to see this, especially heading down to the last several weeks of the regular season into the region tournament. You want to see wins like this come because that's going to boost confidence. It's going to make things better here in the run to the region tournament and hopefully a state tournament. And
tournament not too far away. Playing games are a week from Friday, so it's coming pretty fast.
It is coming fast, but this is the fun time of the spring.
Take a time out, and we'll bring you the game summary next.
Don't leave your season to chance. Partner with someone who treats your land like their own. Hillside Ag Services is owned and operated by Jason Strand. Proudly serving Portland, North Dakota, and the surrounding area, Hillside Ag Services delivers reliable and efficient ag spraying that you can count on. To get on the schedule, call Jason at 701-371-4750. Hillside Ag Services, accuracy, reliability, results.
No matter what season it is, you want to keep your vehicle in tip-top running condition. H.E. Everson Automotive Parts and Welding Supply in Mayville can help. They can find the exact product, part, or accessory that you need. H.E. Everson carries a full line of quality products at great prices. So whatever it is you're looking to get your vehicle running again, stop in at H.E. Everson Automotive Parts and Welding Supply in Mayville.
This is the sports play-by-play leader, KMAV-FM, Mayville, North Dakota, 105.5 FM and KMAV.com.
All right, let's bring you the game summary from ChristianCarsOnline.com. Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood Patriots, 11 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors, 5 runners left on base. For the Grafton Spoilers, 1 run on 1 hit, 4 errors, and 5 runners were left on base. Let's look at the scoring summary. Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood got on the board in the bottom of the first. A leadoff triple for Oakley Thomas. She scored on a Hudson Zerfus sacrifice fly. That made it 1-0. Patriots added 4 in the 3rd inning. A walk to Oakley Thomas. She stole second and went to third on a wild pitch. Hudson Zerfus on a 2-run homer. Hit by a pitch was Hadley Verwest. She stole second. Audrey Ringler reached on a walk. RBI single for Bryn Kritzberger scores Verwest. And a bunt single for Bailey Bergstrom scored Audrey Ringler. Patriots up 5-0. Patriots add 5 in the bottom of the 4th. 2-out walk to Hudson Zerfus. RBI double Hadley Verwest scores Zerfus. Reaching on an error, Audrey Ringler. A walk to Bryn Kritzberger. RBI single for Bailey Bergstrom. And then Kritzberger would score on a wild pitch. And reaching on an error was Taylor Anderson. That allowed Bergstrom to score. 5 runs in that inning made it a 10-0 lead. Grafton in the top of the 5th. Caitlin Benavides on a walk. She would go to second, third, and score on 3 wild pitches. And then the Patriots get a run in the bottom of the 5th. And with 1 out, reaching on an error is Oakley Thomas. She went to second on an error. There were 2 down. RBI single Hadley Verwest scores Thomas. And that's the ball game. Time of the game, 1 hour and 34 minutes. Winning pitcher for the Patriots, Oakley Thomas. 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts, 5 wild pitches. And The loss will go to Grafton's Chloe Cadlick, 4 2/3, 9 hits, 11 runs, 6 earned, 4 walks, no strikeouts, 2 wild pitches, and a hit batter. We'll come back with more after this.
Is Chrysler your brand? How about Dodge? Looking for a Jeep? Oh, I know. You want a Ram. Find all these amazing brands under one roof out of the big city where they will always remember your name, and small town customer service and pricing is still the name of the game. Christian Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Cooperstown, North Dakota is worth a drive because they have the selection, they have the service after the sale, and because they want your business forever. Not just to hit this month's goal like those big city dealerships. ChristianCDJR.com. They make it easy.
All right, let's go through how everyone did at the plate. For Grafton, Annika Sandgate was 0 for 3. Chloe Cadlick 0 for 3, reached down in there. Regan Osland was 0 for 2 with a walk. Jay Anderson 1 for 2 with an infield hit. Nola Thompson is 0 for 2. Izzy Jenkins 0 for 2. Miranda Garcia was 0 for 2, reached down in there. Abby Horesi 0 for 1 with a walk. Caitlin Benavides was 0 for 1 with a walk and a run. For the Patriots, at the plate, Oakley Thomas. She was 1 for 3, a triple, a walk, reached on an air, scored 3 times. Hudson Zerfus, she was 1 for 2, a sacrifice, a home run, a walk, 2 runs, and 3 RBI. Hadley Verwest was 2 for 3, singled, doubled, hit by a pitch, scored 2, and drove in 2. Audrey Ringler, 1 for 2, doubled, walked, reached on an air, scored twice. Bryn Kritzberger was 2 for 2, single, a double, a walk, a run, and an RBI. Bailey Bergstrom, 2 for 3, 2 singles, including a bunt single, a run scored and a run batted in. Taylor Anderson was 0 for 3, a fielder's choice, and reached on an air. Cadence Thomas 0 for 3, and Kennedy O'Connor is 0 for 3. 11-1, the Patriots win it in 5 innings on the 10-run rule. We'll come back to wrap things up after this.
Paulson Gravel of Mayville offers a variety of services, including graveling, dirt hauling, site preparation, demolition, and snow removal. They can gravel your township or county road and driveway. Paulson Gravel hauls clay, black dirt, sand, and different sized rock. In the winter, they provide snow removal and salting sanding services for parking lots and driveways. Call Paulson Gravel 786-2019 or 430-0202. Serving Trail County for over 30 years, Paulson Gravel Service of Mayville.
Look to Luther Memorial Home for a rewarding career working with people. Luther Memorial Home is currently looking for CNAs, full-time and part-time, on all shifts. Starting wages are over $21 an hour, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus for full-time employees. For more information about employment at Luther Memorial Home or taking the next CNA class, contact Jessica Mock in Human Resources at 701-786-3401 or visit luthermemorialhome.com for an application.
Let's go to our Play of the Game selections from Mayville State University. Make it Mayville. Check out mayvillestate.edu/makeitmayville to find out more. And Chris Larson, who you got?
Grafton, let's go with Jay Anderson. She gets the only hit for the Spoilers this afternoon, deserving of the player of the game. For the Patriots, we're going to go Hudson Zerfus, our player of the game this afternoon. Hudson having a great day at the plate. Really the catalyst of that offense for Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood.
Yeah, that 2-run homer she had, part of a big 4-run third inning.
That was huge.
That was. Player of the game for Mayville State University. Again, the final 11-1. Mayport CG-Hatton-Northwood with the win over Grafton. Patriots go to 4-6, 3-3 in the region. Grafton to 1-6 and 1-5. Friday on KMAV and on YouTube, we'll have Hatton-Northwood at Mayport CG in high school baseball. Monday, Chris and I will be back here as the Patriots softball team will host Thompson. That should be an interesting one.
Let's hope it's a little bit warmer.
Well, it should be. I think we're looking at about 70 that day. But then
I can handle that.
The weather could change between now and then, too.
No, it should be a good game against the Tombies for the Patriots. It's going to be a really good test for the Patriots to see where they are at this point in the season against region opponents like they were here against Grafton.
And when they played Thompson a few weeks back, they lost 14-9, so a lot of runs were scored that day.
Well, I equate it to the first game of the Stanley Cup playoffs. A lot of goals were scored between the Wild and Avalanche, so why don't we do it out here?
Why not?
It's going to be a good week. Patriot baseball at home later this week. It's going to be a really fun time to be a Patriot supporter here. Come out and watch these kids. It's truly some of the best spring sports.
Well, wrap it up for this afternoon. We ask you to please patronize our sponsors, or at the very least stop in and thank them for making these sports broadcasts possible here on KMAV. From the Mayport CG School, for Chris Larson, I'm Craig Keating. Have a good rest of your evening.
Live sports coverage has been brought to you by the KMSR Inc. Sports Boosters and by area businesses from the communities taking part in the game. Please support the sponsors you heard in tonight's broadcast, or at the very least, stop in and thank them. This has been a presentation of KMSR Inc., the Red River Valley Sports play-by-play leader.